doesn't seem to be a world that favors a woman on her own.
Civilization and civilized, two different words entirely.
It is great to get to chat with you both for American Primeval. I watched it over the weekend, and it is such an intense, gripping ride from start to finish. Betty, I'd love to start with you. Sarah, I find her journey to be such an interesting one as we see her start as sort of this skittish type mother, but as we learn more about her and things happen, she becomes this really ruthless survivor. What is it like sort of following her on that journey and finding the heart of her along the way?
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was important to me that she not feel like Lara Croft, like that she wasn't just, that you knew, that you felt like, oh, this person's gonna kill a bunch of people and be totally fine in this atmosphere. You know, I think about, you know, what the women in like Pride and Prejudice or what's that, Downton Abbey, like what are these buttoned up society women, you know, what their day to day would be like, or the life that they would dream about having, you know, involved sitting and writing letters and wearing corsets and having tea and, you know, just kind of existing in a bubble and living a Groundhog Day over and over again inside in a very safe, controlled, boring, hierarchical environment. And I think that it was important to me and to Pete that it feel like she was totally out of her element, and that, you know, she should not be in this environment, and that kind of the circumstances of her life and the secret that she has, kind of the stakes of where she was, that there was no other option but to try and traverse those mountains and to trust a person that she probably shouldn't, and that in order to arc it, that, you know, her starting off as someone who you would not believe to be brave or belonging in this world. So that was important to me, to keep that authentic.
Well, I think you captured that very well, and I love the way that that does arc by the end of the show. And Taylor, I'll turn to you next. I love that we're not only seeing you reunite with Pete yet again, but Isaac is such this complicated, damaged character who we're never quite sure of even up until the end, but yet he still finds a way to be so endearing in his interactions with Sarah and her son. What is it like sort of finding that balance between the darker side of him and the side that wants to connect to someone?
I loved it. I don't know. I think with Pete, he gives you that empowerment to create the character, right? So when I get that first call, he just goes, I got you. We got our next thing. Sends it. And then he's just like, he kind of gives you the reins. And obviously with Mark L. Smith writing such a great, intense character as well, helps. And to bounce off with Pete and him and Betty, obviously, to go to work with her was amazing. And it's, I don't know, you really look forward to those beats. And with Pete, anything can happen on set, which we both loved, because we have a lot of trust between each other and to push each other in the right way. So that was a lot of fun to explore, and knowing where it goes, obviously, you can kind of pick your beats of where you want to be a little more vulnerable or giving. And, you know, it would probably start, you know, where his arc of actually trying to forgive himself would probably start in the Shoshone village for sure, where you start to see a real piece of him, and you meet his mother and his brother, and almost more importantly, through Sarah's eyes, she sees it as well. So it's not just this guy that's just like an asshole. You know, there's so much more to it. And that was beautiful to explore as well.
Well, I love that there are so many layers to your characters as well as everybody else in this show, and I can't wait for people to get to see them. I see I got to wrap already, so I'll get on out of here. But thank you both so much for taking the time. I truly do appreciate it. I can't wait to get the word out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
There's a war brewing in this territory. Brigham Young trying to make his kingdom. President tries to stomp it out.